All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Ron Graham. Big howdy. Happy Saturday morning or Saturday noon if you're coming from the East Coast. We're glad to have you here this morning. We have a good program on holistic health. We're going to address mental health, and then we're going to jump into some physical health and get you a little workout in there too. So we will have a good presentation today. Our first speaker is a personal friend of mine. Sydney Adams is a master social worker with the Kingwood Counseling Center. I've known her for a couple of years here. She and her husband are personal friends of Mindy and myself, and we, I really appreciate her taking her time and sharing with us about the importance of mental health and taking care of that. Our second half of the program will feature a presentation from Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition with Dawn Wells will be here. Some of you may know her, but also her newest trainer is Victoria Damaso-Ingram, and she will have a chair and circular something. I'm dropping the ball on that. A routine to work out, and she'll deal with some Q&A and address any thoughts you may have on that as well. Talk generally about the importance of physical fitness. So, Terrence, you want to address any Zoom issues here for me?
Oh, you would have put me on the spot. It's
Hey,
been a while, Ron.
good morning, Terrence.
Well, I know a quick Q&A. Did you want to do it, Stacy? I'm sure you know it.
I'm happy to assist if you need me to.
Go for it.
And we're talking Zoom logistics, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, so to mute is going to be on a on a Windows computer. It's going to be Alt-A. It's going to be *6 on a phone, and it's going to be Command-Shift-A on a Mac. And we would ask that everyone remain muted while the presentations are going on. There will be time for questions, and we do have people that are assisting with the hosting of Zoom that can call on. So if you would, if you have a question when the time is appropriate, please raise your hand, and that's *9 on a phone. I think it's Alt-Y on a Windows computer, and it's Option Y on a Mac. And one of our co-hosts will assist with getting you, allowing you to have the floor. We would ask that questions not be longer than 30 seconds, just because we want to be mindful of everyone's time. Did you have something,
Yes,
Terrence?
just to throw in one more. If you're on the app on the iPhone or Android, it's under the More tab to raise your hand.
I think that is it. We would encourage everybody to stick around to the end, because we will have our infamous door prizes, and you must be present to win.
Stacey,
yep.
You don't hear it, but you're buffering, buzzing when you're speaking now.
Yeah, it just kind of kicked in.
It sounds like you're talking through a fan.
I'm talking through a fan. Interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a microphone issue, but that pretty much covers logistics. If you want to go ahead with Sydney.
Okay. So,
is that better?
No, ma'am, you're still same thing there.
Okay. But I will try to work on that.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Sydney, without any further ado, I'd like you all to welcome our first speaker, Sydney Adams. I know in the email I introduced her as Sydney Adams Ordonia, which is how I met her, but professionally she is Sydney Adams, and Thank you, Sydney, for being here today. And I'm going to turn this over to you. And thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Ron. Actually, over the course of the last year, our licensing board was going through a lot of changes. It took a year and a half to get my name changed with them. So I am Sydney Adams Ordonio, finally, through our licensing board, and I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I am the owner and clinical director of Kingwood Counseling Center. So we are located in Kingwood. I've been in practice just under 20 years, almost 20 years in September. So Ron, I appreciate you inviting me to come and speak. And so I jotted a few little notes down for those of you who are sighted. You will see me kind of referencing a few of my notes just so I don't forget anything and I don't lose track. But to start off, I know that mental health kind of came to the forefront recently. If you are familiar with Simone Biles and her backing out of the competition at the recent Olympics and stating that, you know, her mental health was important. Her tricks that she does, for lack of a better word, are extremely dangerous, and she just was not in a right frame of mind to compete, and so she withdrew from the competition. And I think it's made mental health kind of a hot topic recently, more so than in previous times. And so I want to give a definition. Mental health is the foundation for emotions, thinking, communication, learning, resilience, and self-esteem. Mental health is also key to relationships, personal and emotional well-being, and contributing to community or society. And when we talk about mental illness, those are health conditions involving changes in emotion, thinking, or behavior, or a combination of these. And mental illnesses are associated with distress or problems functioning in social, work, or family activities. You may wonder, why is this important? Well, nearly 1 in 5 US adults experience some form of mental illness. So in your circle of people you know, or in your family, you think about 1 in 5 people may be suffering from some form of mental illness at any given time. 1 in 24 has a serious mental illness, and 1 in 12 has a diagnosable substance abuse disorder. You may have heard with COVID and all the stressors that COVID brought a lot of us, whether they were fears about, you know, your own health, the health of your family members, loss of jobs, social isolation, you know, all the different impacts that COVID has had on the United States and really the world. We saw a drastic rise in things like domestic violence, child abuse, divorce rate went through the roof. My practice, for one, is we were just inundated with phone calls and had to hire 5 new clinicians just to handle the influx of people really, really struggling under the weight. And then we have all the healthcare workers who are not only falling apart and you know, exhausted, but leaving their professions. Honestly, it's that bad. So currently we have a nursing shortage. So we know that major big events such as a pandemic or something horrific like 9/11, it can affect the mental health of people beyond those directly impacted. So even though you may not know someone who has had COVID or who has passed away from COVID, you are still impacted by the effects of COVID, because we're all aware the graduating class of 2020 didn't have, you know, or was it 19? No, I think it was 20, didn't have a graduation. You know, there was no senior trips. Everybody's wedding that was planned was canceled. So we all collectively feel the weight and the loss that's associated with that. You may know this already, but there is a pretty strong genetic predisposition to mental health issues. So it's not always situational or circumstantial. Sometimes there's a genetic predisposition. You know, your mom had something, your grandfather had something, and it trickles down, and it makes you more likely to have whatever that condition is. Now, it doesn't mean 100% that you're going to develop the same anxiety grandma had or the same depression dad had. But we do see a lot of folks who have a genetic predisposition who are symptomatic or who are unsymptomatic for years and years and years until they're in a really stressful situation, like a job loss, a divorce, their house burns down, something drastic happens to them. And oftentimes we will see the manifestation of those symptoms following something like that. On the flip side of that, we have people that grow up in super peaceful, relatively normal homes. There's no abuse, there's no substance abuse, there's no neglect, and they're just depressed. And in cases like that, generally, there is a chemical imbalance in the brain, and that can really only be corrected by medication. So there are some things that we can do to help protect our own mental health. Now, if you are hardwired to have bipolar disorder, these would be coping skills that would certainly help you. But generally speaking, these are things that we can all do on a regular basis to help ourselves manage stress, to help ourselves stay kind of in our lane, in terms of recognizing, am I doing okay? Is my plate too full? Am I trying to do too much? Am I taking on things that don't belong to me? So when we think about preventative mental health care, I want you to think about it in terms of like preventative dental care. Most of us brush, we may floss, probably less often than we tell our dentist we do. But brush, floss, use Listerine or whatever you use, get your checkups. But when we think about mental health, we can do some of those same kinds of preventative things. And so getting adequate rest is very, very important. We see folks who have a myriad of symptoms, physical and even emotional or mental symptoms as a result of chronic insomnia. If you don't get enough rest, you're not going to function optimally. Getting adequate nutrition is vital, super, super important. Guarding your thoughts. Negative thoughts lead to depressed feelings. And I encourage folks, find some positive affirmations that are meaningful to you. It can be a scripture, it can be a poem, it can be something like the Nike slogan, just do it. But a line from a movie, it can be anything that encourages you and helps you turn your frown upside down when you find yourself spiraling downward and thinking negatively. I think we've all been there at some point. Nothing good happens to me, everything's going wrong, nobody likes me, those kinds of thoughts. And we have to stop those as soon as we recognize we're doing it and replace those negative thoughts with some positive thoughts. And as I like to call them, positive affirmations. So surrounding yourself with people and things you enjoy and love is very important. You've probably heard the saying, you can't soar with the eagles if you're hanging out with turkeys, okay? So if you're hanging out with a bunch of negative Nancys or people that just really have a very poor outlook in life, that can rub off on you. And you can start thinking negatively like they do. Or if you're hanging out with a bunch of people who gossip and or who worry excessively. And, oh gosh, I just don't know what's going to happen. Things are just so bad, that kind of stuff. You want to avoid that. That can bring you down. That can cause you to feel negative. It can cause you to feel hopeless. And we want to avoid that as much as possible. Laugh often. Laughter is the best medicine. Even the Bible says that. Laughter does the heart good like a medicine. Laughter is one of those activities that we can engage in that releases endorphins in our brain. Those endorphins help combat the stress hormones that a lot of us feel whenever we're just dealing with everyday life. And so laughter is a good thing to have in your life on a regular basis. Another thing that helps us with the stress hormones and helps release endorphins in our brain is exercise. And I tell people, it doesn't matter if you just go in a room and turn music on that you love and you dance all by yourself for 45 minutes. It really doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't have to look like somebody else's exercise. As long as you're happy with it, you enjoy it, and you're moving, that's all that matters. So whatever you guys enjoy doing, I would say do more of it. Eliminating clutter from your life. Clutter equals confusion, and it can cause a lot of stress. If you're trying to find something and you've got to dig through stuff to find it, is just very, very stressful. So it's important to have some degree of organization. And I'm sure for you guys who are visually impaired, that is paramount for you to be able to find things and navigate your world. So I would just encourage you, as much as you possibly can, get rid of the clutter in your life. Setting boundaries. A lot of us think of boundaries like physical boundaries. You have a door on your house, you have a fence in your backyard, we have property lines, we have state lines. Those are physical boundaries. We also usually are aware of the concept of personal space. That's a boundary too, if you don't want someone right up on you. That's a boundary that we set for ourselves. But there are also other types of boundaries, like being able to say no when no is the right answer for you. A lot of us say yes to everything, and we find ourselves overwhelmed and over scheduled, and that in itself can be stressful. Learning how to say no and to set boundaries with your intellectual property, what you think is yours, and you can't allow other folks to tell you how to think and what to think, whether that is about politics, whether it's about religion, no matter what it is. I think it's wise to be open-minded, but we also don't want to allow someone else to infiltrate us, control us, manipulate us. And so that's another way that we can help protect ourselves. A lot of the times when people present in my office and they're very unhappy with their life, with their situation, with the relationship, and I'll listen to their story, and oftentimes it's an adult child that's, driving them bonkers or taking all their money or doing whatever. And I have to ask them, instead of asking why they keep doing it, why don't you ask why you keep allowing it? A lot of the times we allow things in our life that cause us a great deal of distress. So we really have to own responsibility for that part of it. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. So boundaries are absolutely vital, and you've got to recognize that we have choices every day. I would say cut toxic people and situations out of your life. If things are not working for you, if every time you're around this person you feel worse rather than better as a result of having been around them, that's a sure sign that that person is really not good for you. There may be things you're listening to, whether it's music, podcasts, whatever, that's just not taking you to a good place emotionally or mentally. We've got to be willing to let go of some of those things. Making peace with your past. That is also vital. There are some folks that are so hung up on their past that they really can't see their future. They really can't live in the present or move forward in their future because they're stuck in the past. And I would encourage you, whatever that takes, if that takes a therapist, if that takes you, doing some degree of self-reflection, journaling, whatever, putting the past to rest, because it can rob you of your present and your future. Nurturing your spirituality, whatever that means to you. If that means attending a church service, if that means listening to certain music, if that means spending time in prayer and meditation, I would encourage you to do more of that. Obviously, even in AA, the whole concept of a higher being, it's something that transcends the here and now, and it gives us power beyond ourselves. And so that is important as well. Studies have shown that meditation and prayer are also two things that help alleviate stress hormones. Have a balance of time with others and time alone with yourself. You don't need too much of either one of those things, because there just really needs to be a balance between those things. And with that said, it's important that we have a good support system. And a good support system are people you can trust and who you can be your genuine, authentic self with. Now, not all of us have that in our life. The goal would be to find that, but if you can't find that, I would very much encourage you to find a support group. There's all kinds of support groups. Adult children of alcoholics, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, there's depression support groups, there's grief support groups, there are all kinds of support groups. So if you don't have a built-in support system in your world, then I would encourage you to find one. Practice gratitude. Gratitude can make you content with what you have, and it goes back to negative thinking. There are plenty of us who have more than we had 20 years ago. And instead of being grateful for that, we're still focused on all the little things that we don't have or what's not good enough. Gratitude is a thing that can bring us to a place of peace and contentment with where we are. And I encourage people, keep a blessings journal or a gratitude journal, and every night come up with 3 or 5 things that you're grateful for in that day. Now, some people want to say, oh, I'm thankful for my husband, I'm thankful for my house, I'm thankful for my car. No, it can't be the same 3 things every day. It needs to be a new thing, like I am grateful that a parking space opened near the front, or I'm thankful that it didn't rain and cancel our plans today, or whatever. But you need to come up with new things for each day. And it will really help set your mind in a positive direction and as you're going to sleep at night. Engage in pleasurable activities. And this goes right along with that. Listen to music that you enjoy. Many of us are very, very moved by music. I'm one of those people. From a very young age, I was very moved emotionally by music, and I found that it could take me places, sometimes places I didn't really want to go. And so I would say, guard your heart, guard your emotions, guard your mind as you navigate the music that's available to you out there, and find music that takes you really where you want to go. We've all got something that we consider feel-good music. This music, makes me feel good, or this music relaxes me and makes me feel peaceful, or this music energizes me and makes me want to get up and move. Find music that does what you're looking for. And what you need in that moment. And more on boundaries, we talked about that a minute ago. It really helps you identify what's yours to own and what's not. Sometimes people will try to make their issues or their problems yours to fix. or maybe somebody comes to you frequently asking for money, and they're always in the same, predicament, and they keep getting themselves in the same predicament. The truth is, if we keep rescuing them, they get no opportunity to learn from the consequences of their bad choices. And so if any of you are in the situation where you continue to rescue people from the consequences of their bad choices, you're really becoming an enabler, and you'll end up resenting them and they'll end up resenting you. So I would work on eliminating those kinds of things. And somebody comes to you with the same problem, the third time, the fifth time, the 10th time, I would say something to the effect of, it sounds like you've got yourself in a real mess here. What do you plan to do about it? Rather than, here, let me help you. Whenever we are going through a rough time, say things are just not going well, it is always important to focus on the things that we do have control over. And, some of us, if you've got a kid that's acting up, or your house caught fire, or you're stuck at home because of a pandemic, or whatever's going on, there are going to be times and situations in all of our lives where things are completely beyond our control. And in those times, like I said, you've got to focus on, what do I have control over? You can control your thoughts, your actions, your reactions. That's important. Your priorities, your choices, your goals, your dreams, and your activities. Those are the things that you can control. You can't change or control anyone else. You can't change or control what anybody thinks about you. You can't change or control if anybody out there is talking about you. Those are things that are beyond our realm of control, but we need to focus, especially when things are rough, on the aspects of our life that we have control over. That is just vital. So just wanted to give you guys kind of a brief rundown, because one of the things that I find when people come to our office, sometimes people will make an appointment and they get back in one of our offices and it seems that they're there for medication. And we don't write prescriptions for medication. So I just thought I would throw this out there. Psychiatrists or MDs, a psychiatrist is an MD, but a psychiatrist or a primary care physician, or perhaps a nurse practitioner at one of their offices, writes prescriptions. Therapists, the vast majority of us are master's level clinicians. We're either licensed clinical social workers, licensed marriage and family therapists, or licensed professional counselors. We do therapy, okay? So if you were truly in need of both medication and therapy, you would need those two different providers and not just one. Mental health issues are actually diagnosed using something called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. And it runs the gamut. Everything is in there, from what we used to call mental retardation, and now it's called a cognitive or intellectual deficit, to bipolar, schizophrenia, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I mean, there's so many things in there, adjustment disorder, learning disabilities. But basically, and for each one of those categories, there might be 5, 7, 8 different symptoms. And in order to meet the criteria for that diagnosis, you may need to have 4 or 5 of those things to meet the criteria. And just for an example, for major depressive disorder, feelings of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, or hopelessness, angry outbursts, irritability or frustration, loss of interest or pleasure in most or all normal activities such as sex, hobbies, or sports, sleep disturbances, including insomnia or sleeping too much, tiredness or lack of energy. So everything seems to take a lot of effort. changes in your appetite, either eating way too much or way too little, often resulting in weight gain or weight loss, slowed thinking, speaking, or body movements, feelings of worthlessness or guilt, fixating on past failures or self-blame, trouble thinking, concentrating, making decisions, and remembering things, thoughts of death or suicide, unexplained physical problems such as backache or headaches. If those things last for 2 weeks or more, that would be the time to seek treatment. Okay. Now, transient depressive feelings, transient guilt, transient times of, I don't really feel like going, that's pretty normal for all of us. But if you've got 5 or more of those types of symptoms and they're dragging on for 2 weeks and you're having to talk yourself out of getting out of bed in the morning, chances are you're actually depressed. And that's when you need treatment. And one thing I have to touch on, obviously, one of the things that keeps folks out of treatment is historically in the United States, there has been a stigma against having any sort of a mental health diagnosis. When we were little kids, we probably all grew up and kids calling each other crazy or retard. Those were 2 of the worst words that anybody could say about someone. And both of those imply that there's something wrong with your mental health. And so it starts that early. We also know that culturally, there are certain cultures where you don't talk about that kind of thing. You don't get treatment for that kind of thing. You just put Uncle Fred in the corner. Yeah, he talks to himself, but that's all right. You know, we're just all going to ignore it. The truth is, treatment is available and it is effective. And it goes back to, we will never be able to control what anybody else thinks about us, but we need to take care of ourselves and do what we need to do to function the best that we can. Having a mental health issue does not mean that you are weak. It can happen to all of us. Back in 2008, I had a routine surgery, and it was really routine. I had it on a Friday. I was literally back to work the following Monday. And I was thinking this long-term problem that I had was fixed. It was not. The surgery was the wrong procedure, done the wrong way, using the wrong device. And I ended up having a myriad of new symptoms I was not anticipating. And I went to my doctor who did the surgery, who assured me everything was fine, but tried to write me a prescription for the new symptoms. And I said, I didn't have surgery, so I could be on a prescription. That's not okay with me. I don't want a prescription. Well, a few weeks later, I noticed a few more things, a few more bad symptoms, and I went to a different doctor who immediately said, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you're going to have to go to the med center and you're going to need several surgeries to correct this. Well, that started me down a downward spiral. I was already a therapist, already had a practice, also had a full-time job working for Optum Health, which is also called United Behavioral Health. And long story short, between April and November of 2008, I had 4 surgeries and I was on disability, and it was a dark, dark time in my life. I couldn't listen to a song or even see a commercial on TV without crying. I couldn't get out of bed. It was like the whole rug got pulled out from under me. And you would think, oh, you're a therapist, you know all this stuff. And truthfully, I had a great support system. All my close friends were therapists or pastors, honestly. And that wasn't enough, It just wasn't. I relied on my faith and did everything I could. But one day my doctor called me and I could not stop crying. And he said, what are you doing about your depression? And I said, I'm taking fish oil. And he said, no, it's not. That's not going to work. So I ended up on a very, very low dose of Prozac, very reluctantly. Starting dose is 20 milligram, and I only agreed to 10 milligram, but it was enough It was enough. And eventually it's like the clouds parted and the sun started shining again and the birds were singing again and life was in color again. But I just want you to know mental health issues are no respecter of persons. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how educated you are, what your profession is, what color your skin is. None of those things matter. You can still have an event in your life or have a genetic predisposition that can cause you to find yourself dealing with a mental health issue. So I think that is about all that I have for you guys. Are we okay on time in terms of questions?
We are good, Sydney.
Yep.
And first, I want to say thank you, because if I had made a list of everything I'd want you to talk about, you checked every box. And
Good.
I appreciate you sharing candidly about your own experience, because that's, you know, as you point out, it doesn't matter what profession you're in, you're still a person, you're human just as well. And you know, you feel, you have the emotions, you have, you know, the same chemicals going through your body as everybody else. And when they get out of balance, you know it. So thank you so much. We will take questions. If you have questions for Sydney, raise your hand. Terrence will.
Ron,
Yes, ma'am.
real quick, this is Stacy. Can you guys hear me better now?
A lot better.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're clear now.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I work. Okay.
Okay. So do we have any questions?
And remember, raise your hand and one of the co-hosts will acknowledge you and yield the floor to you.
No hands.
And once again, it's Alt-Y, Option-Y. There's a couple hands.
Okay.
Laura Mulroney's hand is raised.
Yeah, Edwin and Laura.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Go ahead, Laura.
Okay. What in the world is going on? I noticed that for many, many years, every time I get sad or angry, upset, whatever, I can run to the piano and play a few minutes and I'm feeling better. What is it that about actively playing a musical instrument that affects our brain or whatever?
Wow, that's a great question. You know, I think that's the answer to that is very, very deep. You know, when you think about playing your musical instrument, and all the emotions that you associate with playing that instrument from the time you first started, you know, learning how to play it to whatever performances you've done. And as I talked about earlier, the emotions that we feel from music, you know, certain music energizes us, or sometimes it makes us feel moody or sad or happy. There are a myriad of things. Likewise, you also are doing something that you have control of in that situation. You know, you're doing something that causes you to feel competent. You have a sense of accomplishment and ability in doing that. And maybe in some other areas, you're not so accomplished or maybe struggle to be as competent. But in that realm, you're very competent. And so I think it's all of those things combined that contributes to that. And clearly you have identified that as a coping skill that works for you. And that's a wonderful thing.
All right. And
Right.
Edwin?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I just want to say I really love that part about making peace with your past. I know what that feels like. That was beautiful. And I also had a few surgeries on which the result wasn't what we were expecting. So I know what that feels like also. So, and I also wanted to ask you if you guys are going to be reopening the school anytime soon?
I wish, I wish that we were, another school actually took over the, our spot. With COVID shutting us down, I mean, we were only open 7 months and not really off the ground yet. And COVID came and we had to close. So I don't know. That's a Master Larry question. And now, by the way, his son reopened NCMA. It's closer to Channelview, but he reopened it on Tuesday and Thursday nights. So it's called North Channel Martial Arts NCMA, and that's Larry's original school that he's had for 20-something years.
Very well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll jump in and elaborate for anyone who doesn't know. Sydney's husband is Grandmaster Larry Ordonio, who had Ordonio Martial Arts here in Kingwood, which is how I came to know Sydney, because she was there at the dojo several times when we were there. Grandmaster Larry had a class that he where he trained a group of us from the VIPSET support group here in Kingwood. He embraced the idea of training students who were visually impaired and blind, and worked hard to make the class something that benefited us. And he just really took a lot of pride in the fact that it was something that he could make work like this. And it was great for a good handful of us up here. So, and that's the reference when Edwin was asking about the school. So, any other questions?
Aaron Baines' hand is raised.
Okay.
I just want to let you know that I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and thank you for the presentation. And another technique, I don't know if you heard this, that can make you happy, like eliminate stress. It's called EFT tapping. If you Google it, it's called emotional freedom technique tapping, and it's where you tap various parts of your body, energy centers. Just an FYI.
I have heard of that, actually. There are a myriad of newer kind of cutting edge things coming out. You may have heard of EMDR, for example, and that is an eye movement thing that I've got a therapist that works for me in my office who practices EMDR, and I also didn't mention there are obviously some holistic type supplements, St. John's wort and a couple of others that are thought to help with mental health as well, with depression and anxiety.
I just wanted to ask, is there any way we could get a few of those like written up to send out in like a follow-up email like we normally do, like a few techniques?
Sure. Yeah. I've never done this with you guys, so I didn't know that we needed to do that, or I can do that easily for you. It would probably be Monday, just because unfortunately I don't have, well, I could email it. Yeah. I was going to say my printer isn't working here, but I could probably email it to Ron, I guess.
Okay. And we'll take care of that. Thank you very much, Sydney.
Okay.
Okay.
This is Stacy, real fast. Just thank you again, Sydney, for your time today. But just a Zoom logistical matter, there's a couple of folks on here who are showing up as iPhone or even a telephone number. So if you could let us know who you are, because we need people properly named for questions, but more importantly at the end for door prizes. So if you can let us know, that would be great.
There's only one telephone number. It's ending in 169. If that person could unmute and let us know, we'll get you renamed.
Yeah, it's Alma.
Alma Baeza?
Yes.
Hey, good to see you here.
Yeah, I got a new phone, and yeah, how you doing? this new iPhone, and I've been trying to name it, and it's just not going through. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
me. Mhm.
I just got you renamed.
Okay, thanks.
And then our phone is not connected to audio, I don't believe. It's down there at the bottom and they don't have a mic next to their name. So that typically means they aren't connected to audio. So they might not even hear us. But I think that, let me double check the list one more time. I think that was the only person we needed to. Yeah, it looks good from there. If you want to go ahead.
And do we have any more questions for Sydney? I appreciate Sydney sharing her time, insights, and professional perspective here with us. You do that in a very personal way, which, you know, as a person who's dealt with my own issues, I can really relate to, and I really enjoy hearing you present about this. You did a excellent job on covering the spectrum of what we could ask for here in this time frame. Any more questions for Sydney?
Nicole had a hand raised. Nicole, if you want to go ahead. Or if you still had your question.
Okay.
So Ned and then Max.
Can you hear me? This is Ned.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Sydney, for a very good presentation. I liked you're talking about boundaries and setting boundaries.
Mhm.
And I remember I'm retired, but I was a longtime educator, teacher, principal, superintendent. And when I worked with young people, I would tell them that around all of us is like a personal bubble, and you have to respect that bubble, and you don't come into other people's bubbles unless you're invited into that bubble.
Mhm.
And so I would do, even starting with little 3-year-olds, I would work with them on setting boundaries, and they got it. And but so thank you on the stuff about boundaries.
Well, that's awesome, because it's amazing the number of folks that I encounter who are grown adults, 30, 40, 50 plus years old, who don't seem to grasp the concept. So we're doing a lot of re-educating, but a lot of that comes from family of origin issues. If you grow up in a family where there just really aren't any boundaries at all, there's no privacy, there's just no training in that, then you end up with folks that just don't have a clue. And so it's awesome that you were able to be an influencer early on with kiddos.
Max.
Hi there, I'm Maxwell from Windsor, Ontario. I really enjoyed your presentation, and if this question is out of bounds or I'm being really wrong or something, forgive me. I'm having issues, and I don't know what you would tell me to do here, where every day in the past week or two, I would wake up and start obsessively thinking about COVID and unvaccinated people and what to do about it, because I've got a couple of friends and I might have to tell them not to come over. And I hate the idea of banning people, but it's been getting on my mind more and more, and it's starting to concern me. And I wish I could just not care. That sounds really rude. I've had both my vaccine shots and everything, but it just seems like everywhere I go, up comes, did you get your shot? And certain friends don't have it, and I want to respect them, but it's hard to, because their actions can affect me.
Mhm. Okay. Well, the having obsessive thoughts about COVID is not an uncommon thing that I've heard lately, and about, people vaccinated, unvaccinated, and all, it runs the gamut. it goes back to you focusing on what's within the realm of your control. And as you said, you want to respect their choice, but then they've made their choice. Now you get to make your choice. So
Yes.
if they're not vaccinated, you may want to have dinner with them over Zoom, versus in person, if that makes you more comfortable. Because each one of us has to navigate this in the way that we are at peace with, and what is right for us. And whether that means getting a vaccine, not getting a vaccine, hanging out with people who are unvaccinated, we each have to make those decisions that we think are right for us. And so the only way for you to respect their choice is to just let them be, but let them know, you're entitled to that choice, but I'm also entitled to my choice, and my choice is to protect myself and not have you over here.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very valid question, especially in these times today, Max. Thank you for bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
You're very welcome.
It's very common. It's something that people are presenting in therapy a lot.
And also what's happening is I've got, like, I haven't really cared if people were unvaccinated. Like certain friends of mine, they're my friends, they can do what they want. But there's some friends from out of town that are going to be coming to visit us in the building that are vaccinated. And I said, would you be uncomfortable around my unvaccinated friends? I'm like, yeah, we don't want them around, because one of my friends visiting from out of town, they're both vaccinated, had COVID last year. So he doesn't want to risk getting COVID again. So, so it all of a sudden it's bring everything to the forefront, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So,
well, it's not uncommon, and I've experienced it myself. If, for example, one of the kids is going to bring their grandkids over, they will ask me, is anyone else going to be in your home?
Yeah.
Is anybody else coming over? Any of the other grandkids or any other adults?
Yeah.
So again, everybody, we're all in this together, and we're all thrust into a situation that most of us have never been in anything like this ever before. I don't think anybody that's currently living has ever experienced anything like this. And
that's true.
Exactly how to navigate it. It's tough, but you've got to do what's right for you.
Thank you.
We need to exercise, courtesy and kindness as we set these boundaries with our friends and family members.
Yes.
But we do have to do what we believe is right.
Okay.
So Max, thank you for your question and,
you're welcome.
and your comments. Do we have any other questions? Because we're going to be transitioning soon to our next segment. Aaron?
Actually, there are other methods too, like the Silva method. I don't know if you heard of that, but it can calm you down. And there's also spiritual things that people can do.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Nicole, you have a question or a comment?
Nicole, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. It's Alt-A or *6 or.
And Nicole, if you're having the same problem I am, you may just have to tab to the unmute button and enter on it, because my Alt-A wasn't working. But you can tab to the unmute button and press enter.
And the space bar may also work.
No. Nicole, you can also use the chat feature. I don't know why you're not getting unmuted, but. Excuse me. Any final questions for Sydney? I know our next speakers haven't shown up. I know they have a class till noon, so.
I actually have one. I'm just curious about the breathing techniques that I've heard about. I've just always heard people say breathing techniques, but what does that actually involve?
Well, it's usually diaphragmatic breathing. So you're breathing like below your chest, like belly breathing. So you breathe in slowly through your nose from down there, and you exhale through your mouth. A lot of us are familiar with like an iWatch. iWatches have a breathe component on there. There's a couple of apps on phones. There's one called Breathe. There's one called Calm that can help walk you through breathing exercises. I failed to mention this in the presentation earlier, but that is another way when I was talking about meditation. A lot of people do the meditation and the breathing together. So you may focus on a picture or whatever it is, an image in your mind of just whatever brings you peace, or a scripture or something that brings you peace, and you focus on that, and you focus on your breathing, and you breathe in again slowly through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. And with each exhale, you bring yourself to a deeper place of relaxation. So you let the tension go in your neck, in your shoulders, in your back, in your arms, in your legs, in your feet, every time you exhale. And so we recommend people do that for about 15 minutes a day. That sort of relaxation technique or breathing technique is something that you practice when you don't need it, so you can take yourself to that place of peace and relaxation when you do need it. It's kind of like exercise. You might do some form of exercise. So if you needed to pick something up or move something, you can do that without hurting yourself. And this is one of those techniques that you can do. The breathing itself and the relaxation helps combat stress hormones. But if you've practiced this enough, whenever you do feel super stressed or super anxious, you know how to take yourself to that place of calm and peace.
Thank you. That it was really informative. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I have not seen our next presenters yet, so.
Yeah.
I'm here. Actually, I'm ready to get started whenever y'all are.
Okay. And what is your name?
And this is Victoria.
Hello. Yes, I'm Victoria. I'm here representing Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition. You guys excited?
Excellent. And let me say thank you again to Sydney. And Sydney, you're welcome to stick around. You can work out with us, or you're free to leave. But thank you again. And we will transition to our second half of our program here. Thank you again, Sydney.
Okay. Thank you, Ron, and have a great weekend, everyone.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Victoria. And without further ado, Victoria Damaso-Ingram is the new one, if not the newest trainer with Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition. And I welcome you, Victoria. And it's all about you now. The floor is yours. You've got a willing audience right here.
Well,
all right.
Thank you so much, Ron. I am very excited to be here. Let me go ahead and make sure my camera's on. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everybody hear me? Want to make sure. I'm going to be playing some music. We're going to be moving. We're going to get our heart rate up a little bit, get a little bit exercise. Remember that self-care that you guys were mentioning earlier. So we want to make sure that we are staying healthy and y'all can hear me and can hear the instructions really well. So as Ron said, I am with Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition. We're over here in Georgia. We are a nonprofit. We've been here for since about 2016, founded by Don Wells, specifically established to empower the blind and visually impaired. And we are targeted, tailored fitness, blood-based nutrition programs, counseling programs. We do have classes. So I did want to make sure that I threw that out there for y'all. We do offer classes very similar to what I'm going to be doing today, complimentary, so that y'all can join in, jump in, and stay healthy and fit. So you can always go to angeleyesfitnessandnutrition.org for some more information about that. But me specifically, I've been, an instructor over here with Angel Eyes. I've been a group fitness instructor for almost 10 years. And I love group fitness. I love being able to get people moving. So that's what we're going to get started doing today. We are going to be doing a chair circuit class. So make sure everybody has some sort of chair. And if you have weights, that would be great. That's preferable. Light weights, if you have them, they're not required. If you don't have them, that's perfectly fine. But we do want to make sure that if you do not have weights and you're moving with us, I need you to go ahead and keep your hands in a fist. This will help you make sure that we are isolating the correct movements or correct muscles. So everything you don't have, if you do not have a weight, do me a favor and keep your hands in fists when we are using them.
Chat text type message here. Edit escape.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, somebody's unmuted and using their screen reader there.
Oh, Nicole finally got unmuted.
All right. So are we ready to keep going?
Go on, Victoria. The floor is yours.
Yeah, no worries. So let's go ahead and go over how we're going to do our class today. So let me make sure that we are able to participate. I want everyone to have a chair, like I said, and also you're going to need water because we are going to be moving. We're going to be doing some cardio today. So I need to make sure that you stay hydrated. If you need to pause for a second and breathe, we are going to be implementing some breaks throughout our workout, but I want to make sure that we are staying hydrated and breathing. That is the most important thing, right? And we're going to have fun. We're going to get sweaty. We're going to have some fun. So let me break down how we're going to do our class. We're going to start with a warm-up, get our heart rate up a little bit. We're going to do some cardio, get moving, and then we're going to move into some circuits. Now this is where we're going to use our chair. So our first circuit, easy, easy peasy. We're going to grab those weights, light weights, if you have them. Keep your hands like a fist. And I want you to put your weights palms facing up. Your hands are down by your sides. Your weights are at your hips. And you're going to bend your elbows. We're just going to do some simple bicep curls today. So those weights are going to be down. Your hands are down by your hips. And you're going to curl your arms or bend your elbows with those weights coming up to your shoulders. That's a bicep curl. And we're going to be working on this station for about a minute. We can do that. That's not too hard, right? But like I said, we are going to be incorporating some breaks. So after every circuit, I am going to give you a chance to stop and get water. We're going to do 1 minute on and 1 minute off with our circuits. So we've got our bicep curls. You know how to do with that. Then we're going to be putting our weights down and sitting in our chair. So make sure your chair is accessible to you. Just want you to sit down flat on it with your feet flat on the ground. That is a little bit tricky for me because I'm short, so I have to scooch up way to the front of my chair. But make sure you keep your feet flat on the floor. Your bottom is sitting on your chair, and then you're just gonna stand back up again. That's not hard. I'm gonna sit back down and stand back up. See, what we are working on is our core. So keeping that nice and tight. And then we're getting that squat in there as you lightly touch your seat with your bottom and then stand right back up again. Keeping it moving. Try not to use your hands so that we can really incorporate the muscles it takes to stand up and sit back down. All right. Our third station, while you are sitting in your chair, we are going to do some leg lifts. So I want us to sitting in our chair, nice, tall and straight with our feet flat on the ground. Remember we're gonna lift up our legs. We're gonna alternate those legs. So your knee is gonna come all the way up to your chest and then come back down again. And then you're gonna alternate your other knee all the way up to your chest and come back down. So one foot is always on the ground, nice and flat. Your body is nice and tall and strong. And we're going to raise those knees, alternating our legs up and down. All right, we can do that. Our last station, while you're still sitting down in that chair, I want you to have those weights in your hand, or like I said, keeping your hands in a nice strong fist. You're going to take those weights and have them palms facing in right in front of your chest. So I want you to keep those weights right center in front of your chest. And then we're going to twist and take our weights to our left hip. So you're just gonna kind of twist down to your hip, and then you're gonna come back up to your chest, and then twist down to your right hip and come back up to your chest. So we're gonna take it down to your left and back up to your chest, and down to your right and back up to your chest. This is gonna really get those obliques and our arms engaged. Those are our 4 stations for today. Like I said, we're gonna go 1 minute on, 1 minute off, and then we're gonna do some more cardio, and we'll do a cool down at the end. But are we ready to get started, everybody? We good? I think we are ready to get started. So we're gonna go ahead with some music today. So let's get some music going so that we can have some fun with our workout. Let me see, we're having some technical stuff. Let's get the music going. There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with a march. So I want you to start by moving your legs up and down. We are walking in place. So I want us to start marching up and down. We are walking in place, marching in place. Those arms are by your side, elbows are bent. We're swinging our hands by our side, nice and lightly. Those knees are coming up, alternating those knees up and down. And I want us to keep moving. We're just warming up. Remember, we're just warming up. So I want to see us moving. All right, let's go. Marching it out. There we go. Good, keep going, keep going. All right, we're marching it out. Getting those knees up. Knees all the way up. Gotta keep it moving. Keep it moving. Good, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's pick it up a little bit to a jog. Can we pick it up a little bit? Make this go a little faster. Let's move our bodies a little bit more. Bouncing up and down on our toes while we're running in place. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Slow it back down to a march for me. Marching in place. Want those elbows bent when we swing them back and forth. Rotating our knees up and down. Marching. There we go. All right, let's hold that march. Stop right there where you are. We're going to do an inhale. Arms all the way out by your side, all the way up above your head. Breathe in. And then take those arms back down by your side. Breathe out. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms all the way out by your side and all the way up. And then take those arms all the way back down. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, arms out by your side, all the way up. And then nice and slow, breathe out. Good, let's march again. Come on, march it out. Keep going, keep going. March it out. Keep marching, keep marching, keep marching. Let me see, keep marching. We're gonna keep going. All right. I wanna feel the music. Let's keep going. March it out. Good, let's speed it up a little bit into a jog. Running in place. We are running in place. Your arms are swinging by your side. Elbows are bent. Bouncing on the balls of your feet. If you're not gonna run all the way out, that's okay. I want you to get moving. We're just warming up. It's okay. You do what you can do. We're gonna bounce up and down on the balls of our feet while march, knees up, knees up, knees up. Come on, knees up, knees up. March it out, swinging those arms with your elbows bent. Okay, one more time, let's jog. Running in place, jog it out. Let's pick up the pace, speed it up a little bit. All right, we're running in place. We're gonna keep going, swinging those arms like you're running a marathon. Let's go. We're just gonna stay right here. Let's go, 5 more seconds. Okay, march it out again. Woo. All right, my heart rate's getting up a little bit. How about you? Let's keep going. March it out, march it out. Knees all the way up. Arms are bent. We are swinging our arms by our side, marching it out. Remember, we're talking about taking care of our bodies. We're talking about taking care of ourselves. That includes our bodies and our hearts and our breathing. Make sure we are breathing and we're marching. We're warming up. We can't get to work till we've warmed it all up. Keep marching, keep marching. Good. 3, 2, 1. Let's stop right here. Inhale again. Arms all the way out by your side, all the way up. And bring those arms back down by your side. Exhale. Breathe in one more time. Inhale, arms out by your side, all the way above your head. Then bring those arms back down by your side, nice and slow. Exhale. Last one. Arms out by your side, all the way up above your head. Inhale. Arms down by your side. Exhale. Good. Now we're going to put our arms all the way out by our sides, like you're touching the walls on either side of you. Now we're going to make about shoulder level, keeping those arms straight out beside you at shoulder level. We're going to do some small circles. So let's make some small circles, shoulder level. Small circles. I want those feet planted nice and solid on the ground. Keep that tummy nice and tight. We're going to do some little circles, little circles, little circles. Keeping that tummy tight. All right, 3, 2, stop and change directions. Let's roll them the other way. Roll those arms the other way. Roll, roll, roll. Keep going, keep going. Okay, now let's make those big circles, nice and big. Come on, make those circles big. Big circles, all the way big. Oh my goodness, keep that tummy tight. We are rolling our arms with our arms nice and big circles. Stop. Let's roll them the other way. Change directions. Nice big circles. Big circles, big circles. Awesome. Keep moving. Warming up our shoulders. Can you feel it yet? I can feel it. 3, 2, 1. Good. Arms all the way back out by our sides. While you're touching the wall on either side of you, shoulder level. And I want you to bring those arms in like you're going to give yourself a hug. And then open those arms all the way back out again. Cross those arms around your chest. And then open it back up. Close. And open. Close. And open. Close those arms around your chest like you're giving yourself a hug and open up. Keep going. Keep going. We're going to do 5 more. Close those arms straight in front of you. Across your chest. Close your arms across your chest. Open them back up again. 3, 2, 1. Stop right there. Give me a big breath. Arms out by your side. All the way up above your head. And then bring those arms back down. Exhale. Inhale. Arms out by your side. All the way up above your head. And then bring them down beside you. Exhale. One more time. All the way up. And all the way back down. Exhale. Very good. March it out again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep marching. Come on. We got those shoulders warmed up nice and strong. Well, I don't think our shoulders are warmed up enough. I think we got to keep moving out. Let's keep marching. Keep those knees up. Keep those arms swinging by your side with those elbows bent. We're going to keep going. walk. Back to a walk. Slow back down again to a march. March in place. March in place. March in place. Knees up while we're marching. Swinging our arms side by side. Keep moving. Good. All right. Stop right here. Let's do another inhale. Arms out by your side all the way up. Breathe in. Arms back down by your side. Breathe out. Do it again. Arms out by your side all the way above your head. Inhale. Arms out by your side. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. All the way up. Exhale. All the way down. Now with your hands by your side, we are going to roll our shoulders. So let's roll those shoulders. Keep your hands down. Keep your feet down. Keep your knees bent just a little bit. Keep that tummy tight. There we go. And keep smiling, people. Let's go. Roll those shoulders. Roll. Stop. Roll them the other way. Change direction. Roll them the other way. Roll it, roll it, roll it. Nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop where we are. Arms all the way out by our side, all the way up above our head. Inhale. Take your arms all the way out by your side. Exhale. One more time. Arms all the way out above your head. Inhale. Exhale. Arms all the way back down. Last one. Arms all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. Bring those arms back down again. Okay, let's march back to going to center. March, march, march. Back to marching. Back to marching. Walking in place. Walking in place. Walking in place. Walking in place. Hold it right here. Let's stop right here. Take those arms all the way out beside you. And we are going to arms out all the way beside you, about shoulder height. And we're going to reach our arms to the ceiling and then pull them back down by our side. Reach them to the ceiling and pull them back down by our side. Together, up and down, up and down, up and down. 3, 2, 1. Now let's alternate those arms. Let's go. Just your right arm all the way down by your side. Left arm down by your side. Reach your arms all the way up to the ceiling and then bring them all the way back down to your side. Alternating those arms, left and down, right up and down. Good. Reach the ceiling. Touch the ceiling. Alternate those arms. Okay, can you give me a little oomph with it? Give me some attitude. Give me some power. Use all your body to reach the ceiling. Alternating those arms. Reaching, 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 reaching. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a big breath. Arms all the way out and above your head. And then take those arms back out and down. One more time. Exhale. Last one. Arms all the way out by your side, all the way up above your head. Inhale. And then exhale. Arms all the way back down by your side. All right. Are we warmed up yet? I'm warmed up. We're going to go ahead and take a 1-minute break to get some water before we start our stations. Your time is going. Get some water if you want it. We're going to go about 30 seconds left. Okay, get about 15 seconds, get some water. I'm getting some water so we can stay hydrated. That is very important. Okay, it's time for us to start our station. So I want us to grab those light weights that I was talking about. Make sure you have some light weights. Again, if you don't have any light weights, that's perfectly fine. Put your hands in a fist for me. And we're going to hold those weights or your fists with the palms facing up. We're going to have our hands down by our side, by our hips. I want your feet planted, your knees a little bit bent, your tummy nice and tight. And we're going to bend those elbows to put our palms on our shoulders. So hands are all the way down with our palms facing front, holding those weights, and then curl your elbows, bend your elbow to do a bicep curl. So we're going to do some bicep curls, okay? Touching our weights to our shoulders, all the way down, and all the way back up again. And all the way down, and all the way back up again. You have 1 minute of this. We can do it. Remember, keep those knees a little bit bent. Keep that tummy nice and tight. arms all the way down and all the way back up again. All the way down and all the way back up. So keep moving, right? We're gonna do our bicep curls. Now remember, I want those arms nice and tight by your side. Keep your arms nice and tight beside you at your side. Even when you're curling, the only thing moving is your elbow. So those palms are facing forward, and then you bend your elbows, take your weights to your shoulders. You got this. Come on, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. Put those weights down for a minute. Okay, get some water. You've got about 30 seconds to get some water if you need it. Wow, you are getting ready. Let's find our chairs. We're going to sit in our chairs for our next station. Remember, I want your bottom in that chair, but your feet nice and flat on the ground. So scooch up to the front if you need to. Keep your feet nice and flat on the ground. And we are going to get started. 3, 2, 1. I need everybody to stand up. Stand up. Now sit back down in that chair. Now stand back up again. Sit back down in that chair. Come on, stand up and sit down. So what we are working on is that squat. So go slow if you need to. Modify if you need to by holding on that chair to stabilize yourself. But I want you to sit lightly and bounce back up again. Touch your bottom on that chair real quick and stand back up. Get that tummy involved while you stand up and sit back down. Come on, you can do it. So 30 seconds. You got this. Sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up. Come on. Keep it moving. Now when you stand up, clench your butt cheeks really tight. Really get that workout in. Remember, we're using our booty in this exercise. Let's make it work. Come on, make it work, people. There we go. Keep going. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. Okay, 30-second break. Get some water if you need to. While you are taking your break real quick, I'm going to explain our next station. Sitting back down in that chair with your butt scooted up to the front, feet nice and flat on the ground. We're going to alternate our leg lifts. So lift up your left knee and bring it to your chest. Put your foot back down, right knee up to your chest. We're going to alternate those knees all the way up to our chest. I want you to keep that back nice and tall, that tummy in. But let's get started. 3, 2, 1. Tucking it in. We're going to alternate our knees. So left knee up and put that foot back down. Right knee up. Put that foot back down. Come on, keep moving. We're going to alternate those knees. Leg lifts. Let's lift it. Let's lift it. Lift it. Lift it. Keep moving. Right. Left. Right. And left. Make sure you're putting your foot down nice and solid when you come back down so you can establish your center of gravity. Give me a little twist if you feel up to it. Really give me that crunch. Crunch it. Crunch it. Get that tummy tight. Crunch it. Here we go. We're going to keep moving. Bring that knee to that chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! That was awesome. Now, 30 seconds. I want you to find those weights. You can do it. Grab those weights. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do in our next station. We've got those weights in front of us. We're going to grab them in front of our chest, facing palms in. And then we're going to take our weights down to our left hip. So twist, give me that twist. And then back up to our chest. And then back down to our right hip. And up to our chest. And down to our left hip. And up to our chest. And down and twist. And bring it back up to center. And twist it down. So let's go. Come on. We've got started already. Let's go, guys. All right, you can do this. Here we go. Holding those weights right in front of you. Holding strong. Down and up. Twist down to your hip. Bring it back up to your chest. Down to your hip and up to your chest. Twist left and center and right Keep going. Don't stop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. That was fantastic. We're going to start all over again. Take your 30 seconds to get some water. 30 seconds, get some water before we pick up our weights again. You got 15 more seconds. Take a break really quick. Okay, we're gonna go back to the beginning of our stations. With those weights in your hands, we're gonna do some bicep curls. Standing up nice and tall for me. Grab those weights in your hands and let's curl those arms. Bend your elbows. Standing up nice and tall. Feet are planted on the ground. Knees are a little bit bent. And our tummy is tight. We're going to start. Let's curl our biceps. Hands all the way down by your hip. And then bring them up to touch your shoulders. Let's go. Come on. Bend your elbow so that that hand is all the way up. I want you to keep your arms close to your body. Keep your arms as close to your body as you can. Take those hands down to your hip and bring them up to your shoulder. With your palms facing up and in, up and in. You got this. Keep going. You can do it. Come on, keep bending. Bending them in, bring them up to your shoulders. Bicep curls. Keep that tummy tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Put those weights back down. We are going to move on to our next station with our chair. But have your chair, put your feet steady, and let's have a seat. Let's go sit down on that chair. Stand back up again. Sit down on your chair and stand back up again. Remember, we're just going to very lightly, real quick, just snap your bottom on that chair and stand back up again. When you stand up, don't forget to squeeze those muscles. Get those glutes. People, we can do this. Sit down, stand up. Make sure your feet are planted nice and solid. As we are going to keep moving. Come on. Let's go, let's go. Stand up and sit back down. Stand up and sit back down. Good. Keep that tummy tight. Keep that chest up. We are sitting down and stand back up again. Sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up. Come on. Let's go. 20 seconds. You can do it. All right. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it. Can you feel it yet? I'm feeling it. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep going. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Awesome. All right. 30 seconds. Get yourself some water real quick. We're going to sit back down in that chair for our next station. Remember, our next station, we've got our leg lifts. So go ahead and have a seat when you're ready. With our feet nice and flat on the ground. Keep that tummy nice and strong and tight. Keep that chest up. Let's alternate those knees to the chest. Ready? Let's go. Knees up. Right knee up and down. Left knee up and down. Keep our knees moving. I want you to bend that knee and bring it up to your chest. We're alternating our knees. Alternating those legs. When you put your knee in, when you put your foot down, make sure you put it down steady before you pick up the next one. Stay strong. You want to really make sure that we are focusing on that lower tummy. We get that crunch in. Let's crunch it. Crunch it. You got this. Come on. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Crunch it up. Crunch it up. Knees up. Knees up. Alternating those knees. Keep it moving. Let's go. We've got 15 more seconds. Keep it going. Crunch it. Crunch it. 10 seconds. How we feeling? Let's go. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Awesome. Okay, 30 seconds. We're going to move on to our next station. Grab those weights back again. Having the seat back on your chair. Whenever you're ready. We're gonna do these twists. So with those weights in front of you, in front of your chest, we're gonna twist them down to We're holding those weights and we're twisting down to our hip and back up to our chest, down to your hip, back up to your chest, down and up. We're gonna go right and center and left and center. Good, keep going. Keep moving. Sitting up nice and tall. Feet are flat on the ground. Chest up. Twist and chest. Twist and center. You can do this. Keep going. 15 seconds. Let's go. Come on. Twist it down. Bring it back up. Twist it down. Bring it back up. Come on. Down and up. Down and up. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get yourself some water. You've got a minute. Let's go ahead. Get hydrated, everybody. That was awesome. Get some water. I'm grabbing some water. Gotta stay hydrated. We're gonna keep moving. We're not done yet, you know. We're only halfway through. Are y'all having as much fun as I'm having? I want us to come back to our march whenever you're done with your water break. Remember, you take your time, your pace, but when you're ready, I want you to join me into a march. So we're gonna start marching. Whenever you're ready, just join me in the march. We gotta keep our heart moving. We gotta keep our blood pumping. We're not cooling down yet. We're only halfway through. Y'all are doing great. Stay with me. You're not tired yet, are you? We're gonna keep going. Let's go. Keep marching. March whenever you're ready. Come back to a march. There we go. Whenever you're ready. I'm gonna give you about 10 more seconds for your break. You better come on back. This was intermission, not the end. Okay, let's go. We said I'll be back up at the end of our quick water break, marching it out. Thank you very much. Okay, knees up, arms are by our side, elbows are bent while we swing our arms back and forth while we're marching. Keep marching, keep those knees up. Good. Now let's pick it up, pick up the pace, run it out. Let's run in place, jog in place. Those arms are still moving by our sides. Elbows are still bent, but we are moving our bodies a little bit faster. Remember, you feel like keeping that movement low. Just bounce up and down on your toes, on the balls of your feet. But if you're ready to run with me, let's run. Come on. You do what you need to do. Keep your body moving. Good. I want those arms swinging by your side, though. Keep those arms swinging by your side, alternating those arms left and right while we're running. Keeping those elbows bent while we're running. Good. 3, 2, 1. Let's slow it down back into a march. Back into a march. Woo. Fantastic. Keep going. I'm loving this. All right. Now we're going to take those arms back out by our sides and alternate, reaching up to the sky with your left hand down by your side, your right hand all the way up to the sky, and alternate with your right hand down and your left hand up. And switch hands. Switch hands. Switch hands. But you're pushing the ceiling. Push the ceiling off of you. Push the ceiling up. Push it up. Push it up. Now give me some power with that move. Lift with your whole body. Alternating those arms. Up, up, up. One arm up and one arm down. Keep moving. Use your whole body to do this move. With your whole body to reach. 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 Awesome. Now we're going to do the same. Keep going. The same movement. We're going to do right in front of us. So reach out from your chest. Reach out from your chest. Alternating. Reach out. Reach out. Reach forward. We're going to push forward. Push forward. Right hand pushing forward. Left hand is down. Push forward. Alternate. Switch arms. Switch arms. arms, push forward, push forward, push forward, all the way forward, right from your chest. Okay, 3, 2, lift the ceiling again, alternating those arms, touch the ceiling, push the ceiling up, push it up, alternating those arms, one hand up and one hand down. Come on, lift with your whole body, push, push, push up high, keep it moving, keep it moving. Let's go, 5, 4, 3, 2, and stop right there. Let's inhale, arms out by our sides, all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, arms all the way back down again. Inhale, arms all the way out by our side and above your head. And then bring those arms back down by our side. Exhale. Marching out for me, everybody. Let's march. Come on, let's march. This is marching, marching, marching. Okay. I love this. Get those knees up. Make sure those arms are moving with us. With those elbows slightly bent. Alternating those arms and legs. We're going to keep moving. Move those arms and your legs. Can you move your arms and legs at the same time? Let's go. Let's run it out. Let's pick up the speed. Let's pick up the speed. Let's go. Let's go. Pick up the speed. Run it out. Run, 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 run. Run, run. Come on. We're running. We're going somewhere. Let's do this. Keep those arms swinging. Keep those feet running. 5, 4, 3, 2. Slow it back down to a march. Woo, good job. Everybody else's heart rate pumping up. My heart's pumping. Y'all can probably hear I'm getting out of breath. Y'all are making me work today. I'm getting a good workout in. I hope you are. Let's keep marching. Keep marching. Keep marching. Good. Keep marching. Awesome. Okay, hold it right here. Big breath. Arms out by your side and above your head. Inhale. And then bring those arms back down by your side. Exhale one more time. Arms all the way out by your side. Inhale. Up. And then bring those arms back down by your side. Exhale down. Awesome. Okay, we've got 1 minute, everybody. 1 minute till we start our circuits again. That was only the first half of our class. So go ahead. You've got 1 minute. I'm timing you. Get some water if you need it. I know I do. Woo! Water's good when you've been working out. Let's go. Okay, you got 30 seconds left. You can take this break. Take this break. Make sure you're breathing. Breathing is important. That is what we're going to be talking about later. 5 more seconds. 3, 2. Okay, let's grab those weights. Grab those weights. We're going to start off with our bicep curls again. So with our feet planted steady and our tummy tight, I want us to bend those elbows with our biceps face with our weights in our hands facing forward. Bend those elbows. We're going to curdle it. Do that bicep curl for me. Remember, keep your knees bent just a little bit. Not crazy bent, just a little bit bent. So that you feel steady. We're not going to be wobbly. We want to make sure that we are keeping our heels dug into the ground. Keeping that tummy tight. Arms are tight against our bodies. And we are bending our elbows with those weights going from our hips to our shoulders. Keep going. From our hips to our shoulders. Keep moving. We might go a little bit longer this time. What do you think? You think you can handle it? I think you can. Let's go. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Put it down. Put those weights down. Get ready for our next station. Where we're going to grab our chair, have a seat, with those feet planted firmly in front of you, sitting on the edge of your seat. And let's stand up in front of our chair. Stand up. Sit back down. Give me that squat. Stand up and sit back down on that chair. Stand up and sit back down. Make sure your chair is nice and stable. Sit back down. Toes up so you know you're sitting down correctly. Digging that heel into the floor. Stand up. Clutch it up. 3, 2, and 1 more. Awesome job. Lift it back down again for our next station. We're going to do some leg lifts. Remember, we're alternating our legs, so we're going to bend those knees, bringing them up and down. So bend your knees. Left knee up and put it back down. Right knee up, put it back down. Let's do those leg lifts, alternating our legs. Crunch it. Crunch it. We're sitting on our chair, nice and strong. Our feet are planted on the floor, nice and strong. So we are curling or bending or crunching that knee to your chest. Bring it all the way up as high as you can. Don't worry about it if you can't get it to your chest. We're just trying to get it as high as we can to engage those tummy muscles. We want to get that tummy tight and focused and engaged. Get those muscles moving. That's something we all want to work on, right? Those tummy muscles. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Go ahead and grab those weights again. We're going to move on to our next station. On to our next station with our weights right in front of our chest with our palms facing in. And then we're going to take those weights down to our left hip. Twist it and bring it back up again. And twist it and bring it back up again. Those weights are right in front of your chest. Bend down, bend them down, take them down to your hip. And then twist it back up again. Remember, your body is nice and tall and straight. Your torso might be twisting, but don't drop your shoulders. Don't drop your chest. Just twist those weights from your hip up to your chest and down to your other hip. Up to your chest, down to your other hip. And up and twist. And up and twist. Up, twist. We can do this. Keep going. Keep the tummy tight. Keep those feet planted firmly on the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Let's get some water real quick. You've got 1 minute. Get some water. Come on. Get some water, everybody. You did amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of you. We got it in, didn't we? 1 minute. It's time for us to start to slow things down a little bit. Woo! We worked hard, but it's time for us to slow down. So whenever you're ready, stand back up again. We've got about 10 more seconds to come and join me. 10 seconds, okay, 8 seconds. There we go. 5. There we go. Come on, whenever you're ready. Come and join me back standing up. We're going to stand up back to our march. We'll stand up nice and tall. But our march is a little bit slower this time. I do want those arms still swinging by your side with your elbows bent. I do want your knees still moving. But we're going to go a little bit slower. It's time for us to cool down. So we're going to slow down a little bit. Slow down. There we go. Let's keep marching. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Hold that march. Stop right there. And give me an inhale. Arms out by your side and all the way above your head. Inhale. And then push those arms slowly down by your side. Exhale. Inhale. Arms out by your side all the way up above your head. And then exhale. Bring them down slowly by your side. One more time. those shoulders. Other arm across your chest. So reach your left arm across your chest to touch your right hand. Stretch it out. Other arm. There we go. Good. Reach, reach, reach. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Good. We're stretching, stretching, stretching. Okay. Arms all the way open again. Open it up. Open it up. Drop your hands by your side. And let's roll those shoulders. Roll those shoulders. Nice. Roll it. Roll it. 3, 2, 1. Roll the other way. Change directions. Roll the other way. Roll it. Roll it. Keep going. Very good. Keep rolling. Just your shoulders. Just your shoulders. 2, 1 more. Okay, hold it right there. Give me an inhale. Arms all the way out by your side and above your head. Breathe. And exhale. Arms all the way out by your side, all the way back down. Do number 2, all the way up and touch all the way up to the ceiling above your head. And exhale. Arms all the way down by your side. Last one. Out by our side above our head. Inhale. And then push our hands back down by our side. Exhale. Good. Now we are going to grab the back of our chair so we can stretch out our legs a little bit. We want to make sure that we have a good way to keep our balance. I want you to grab your right ankle with your right hand behind you, like you're kicking yourself in the butt. Grab that knee behind you. If you can't reach your whole ankle, that's okay. Just bend that knee behind you. Bend that right knee up behind you. Hold on to your chair for stability. There we go. We want to try to stretch out our legs. 3, 2, 1. Good. Put those legs down. Shake it out in front of you. Shake out those legs in front of you, alternating your legs. Okay, whenever you're ready, we're going to go ahead and switch to the other side. Grab the other side with your other hand. Grab the back of your chair. With the other hand, grab the back of your chair, and I want you to take your left ankle and put it in your right hand. So reach it up behind you. Reach it up behind you. If you can't grab it with your hand, that's okay. Just bend your knee. Bend your knee. Stretch out your hamstrings. Hold on to that chair with your balance. Good. Stabilize yourself. Keep that tummy tight. 3, 2, 1. Good. Kick out those feet in front of you. Alternating feet. Kick them out in front of you. Okay, let's roll those ankles. Hold on to your chair. Roll your ankles in a small circle in front of you. One ankle and alternate to the other ankle, the other leg. Roll your ankle. Very nice. Okay, reach your arms. Put both feet back down on the ground. Sorry, reach your arms all the way back up to the ceiling. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Grab those hands together and push your palms facing the ceiling. Push your palms all the way up like you're pushing the ceiling. Push it up. Push up the ceiling. Push up the ceiling with both hands. Hold it up there. Good. Now roll your wrists into small circles. Just your wrists. Not your elbows, just your wrists. Roll those wrists into small circles. Bring those arms back down by your side. Back down by your side. Very nice. Let's inhale. Arms all the way out by our side, all the way up above our head. Big breath. And exhale. Push those arms all the way back down again. One more time. All the way up. Inhale above our head. And then exhale. Push those hands back down by your side. Everybody, you did it! Woo! We did it! You feeling good? You did it. You should be so proud of yourself. Give yourself a round of applause. Nice job, everybody. Well, I don't know about you, but I am sweaty. So I'm going to have a seat here with you. There was a couple of things that we were going to talk about today, but I need to get some water. You need to get some water. Take a breath. Take a minute. Get some water. And we're going to talk about a little bit about fitness and about health and taking care of our bodies. Like I said, water is important for taking care of our bodies. Let's see. Ron, are you there?
I'm right here.
How do you feel? Did you work out with me?
I didn't do the whole thing. I caught in as much as I could. And I've got to say this. You have enough energy to make the Energizer Bunny tap out. You're
This is
positive,
true.
upbeat, and outgoing, and go, go, go. Thank you.
Well, I hope everyone was able to get as sweaty as I am right now and get a workout in. So, was there anything particular you wanted to have me start with, Ron, when we were going to talk about fitness, or you want me just to share what I know?
Just it. The floor is yours. You're the expert here, so we're at the end of our presentation. So just share the high points here, if you would.
The high points, got it. I'll keep it.
Yes,
I'll keep it at 5 minutes. Then there you go.
All right, excellent.
Okay, so today we were working on cardio. We were doing an aerobic workout. That means that breathing was important. So everybody notice that you were breathing heavy today. We have to keep breathing. This is really, really important because a lot of people don't realize that when you're working your muscles, like your biceps and your triceps and your legs, also your heart is a muscle. So much of our lifestyle every day makes us sit down and you forget your heart is a muscle. So if I could leave you all with one very important thing, I would say to keep moving, keep moving. In fact, we're supposed to have 150 minutes of movement every single week. That breaks it down to about 30 minutes, 5 times a day. So if you have 30 minutes, a 30-minute lunch break, or you have 30 minutes while you're watching TV and you want to do jump up and down, or you want to walk in place or take a walk, those are all great ways to keep moving. So I just wanted to tell everybody, hey, keep moving, keep your heart rate up, keep your body breathing, and keep your cardiovascular health a priority, because you've got to make sure that you're able to breathe strong and your heart's able to be strong in order for us to be strong. Does that sound good, Ron?
Excellent, excellent. And our whole program today was focusing on more of the holistic health, which the mind and the body. And
Yes.
Victoria, you nailed the body here. That's because when your heart's pumping, you're getting blood circulating, you're getting oxygen throughout your body, and you're breathing, everything you need to do to be healthy is happening.
Exactly.
And
Mhm.
and
we
you had
can't-
it wired up.
Yeah, and we can't do our best. We can't take care of our mind or our soul or our responsibilities if our body is not strong enough to move. So we've got to keep ourselves moving. We have to keep moving. That's a priority.
And this is fantastic. And I know Dawn popped in while you were working us out.
Oh, fun.
And
I didn't even notice.
she came, and I don't think she's here any longer, but unless I've missed it. But I appreciate you coming, and I think Dawn's got a keeper in you, that's for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Ron. Thank you, everyone, for letting me join you today. And I will hopefully be able to talk with y'all again. Remember, you are always welcome to join our virtual classes that we do here at Dawn, with Dawn at Angel Eyes Fitness. You can go to the website and check out the classes that are being offered and the schedules. Like I said, they're completely complimentary. We'd love to have anyone join us.
Can I ask a question?
There will be a follow-up email with that website that you will all receive. So.
Yes.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Okay, and who is this?
Hi, I'm Alice Lopez.
Hey, Alice, how are you, my friend?
I'm fine, sir. I was just wondering if I can ask the young lady a question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
What happens if you don't have balance? If your balance is off? I try to exercise, and since my vision is going, I tend to lose my balance quite a bit. I can't even do some of the stuff unless I'm really holding on to something.
Mm-hmm. And that is a very common issue that we all struggle with, because your balance comes from your core. But when you are especially struggling with balance, it does help, like you said, to hold on to something. A lot of what I was doing today, I involved the chair because this helps us not have to think about.
I almost fell with the chair.
Oh no! Oh my goodness.
This is really off.
Okay, well, when you do have a chance to hold on to, maybe a table would be something you could hold on to help you keep walking in place. Or a lot of times maybe the wall, because you know the wall's not gonna move. So if you're holding onto the wall, then you know that you've got something steady that's gonna support your weight. That might be something that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Victoria, this is Sarah. I wanted to make sure you let individuals know Dawn has some community classes when they go on the website. I think she does something, is it Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays?
That is what I just said. Absolutely. I would love to have, we would love to have anyone come and join us online. They're virtual, just like what we just did right now. And we do a Monday night and Thursday afternoon and Saturday afternoons.
Cool.
And those are all central times to most of us, so adjust them accordingly. Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
And I think Ron said he'll be sending out an email with the specific information so that it would be easier for y'all to find it.
Yeah, great job. Thank you.
Certainly will. And we thank you, Victoria.
And Aaron had a quick question before we do the door prize and wrap up for the day.
Thank you for the workout. I actually walk outside and use a treadmill and weights also in my basement. And I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, a city called Burlington.
Wow.
So you've gone international here, Victoria.
That's awesome. Welcome. Welcome to the party. See, we wish we were up there. It's very, very hot down here in the South where we are. So I hope y'all are having good weather up there.
We have another friend from Canada here. Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Victoria, for a great presentation and a workout today.
I'm so glad you enjoyed.
Thanks a lot.
Glad we were able to get our heart rate up. All right. Well, Ron, it was so great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me and us. And hopefully we will be able to connect soon. Everyone, like I said, you're welcome to join our classes. I'm signing off now, but I will look forward to talking with y'all another time.
All right. Thank you so much, Victoria.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Naomi has left
Stacy?
Victoria, Angel Eyes has left the meeting.
So
we've got a door prize of $25 Amazon gift card.
We
from
do.
Haven.
Yep. And it is going to go to Laura Mulraney.
Looky here.
Oh,
Congratulations, Laura.
So Laura, Ron will get with you offline to deal with the logistics of that. And then thank you everybody for spending part of your Saturday with us. And stay tuned for announcements for our next workshop. We will be meeting on Monday and information will be coming out about that.
Amelia has left the meeting.
And I thank you all again. We appreciate you coming today, spending your time with us. And this will be posted on YouTube once we get everything situated. So if you ever want to refer back to anything that Sydney talked about, or if you want to work out again with Victoria, it will be on YouTube. So it'll be on our YouTube channel. And I will include the link to the video as well in the follow-up email. All right. Well, thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Bye. Take care,
Bye.
everybody.
Lawrence has left the meeting. Dan McGuire has left the meeting.
Great. Thank you.
Meeting for all. Default button.